Hello again everybody, and today I thought I'd take the time to go over the Pyrocynical situation once more post-Turkey Tom doc release. A lot of new information has come out since and a lot of new opinions have been shared, so I want to go over those from a point looking back on everything and how the community should handle these types of things better and improve going forward, myself included. By the way, I did a part of a video for Harley TBS's documentary on the whole thing where I go over Pyro's response post from a new perspective and point out all the lies in it, so if you want to go over and check his video out, it'll be out really soon, like within the next 2 to 3 days, so I'll leave a link to his channel in the description of the video. Hopefully you can get some more insight there when it comes out. However, in this video, I'm aiming to mostly cover the response of a lot of people, as well as what we can do better moving forward. No videos in specific, as that would probably take a while, but just generally what happened in the situation.
You want some milk?
Yeah.
So, in case you somehow missed everything, a few months back, allegations were leveraged against commentary giant Pyrocynical, where he had sent a lot of unsavory art and had a lot of really distasteful conversations with a user known as Ivory Rasmus, who was 15 to 16 during all of this. I apologize for the vague wording, but I enjoy my videos not getting kicked in the asshole by YouTube's algorithm, so I'll just keep it at that. In the initial allegation, Ivory claimed that Pyro was a groomer. That was later proven to be a misunderstanding of the word on Ivory's part, and there was no evidence of Pyro actually engaging in grooming behavior. However, there was still plenty of evidence against him engaging in really gross behavior, and in response to that, Pyrocynical made a Reddit post basically claiming that he wasn't aware that Ivory was a minor, and that he had actually actively lied about his age in order to gain access to certain Discord servers, among other claims that he was only doing this because Pyro had a following, insinuating that he was a clout chaser and that Ivory had sent images of the same variety to other users, and was unbothered by a similar situation that happened with someone that wasn't Pyro. He provides a few other points, all that I go over in Harley's video that has not come out yet, but you should probably go subscribe because, you know, it's going to come out eventually. But anyways, in response to this, Ivory dropped a little more evidence, and the situation eventually kind of settled with a lot of public opinion not favoring Ivory. However, the drama was recently kicked up again with the release of Turkey Tom's video and everything, alongside a Google Doc that he dropped. Yes, another Google Doc. Internet drama has evolved past the need for twit-longers and note-app apologies. We're going full-on college thesis in this bitch. If the next drama doc that drops does not have size 12 times New Roman font, double-spaced MLA format, I am not going to be covering it. But anyways, Pyro has yet to respond to this new evidence. While before the general consensus was that Ivory was the less favorable party in all of this, opinions are beginning to shift towards his favor, and with that shift of opinions comes a necessary time to reflect on how the situation was handled by everybody, basically. The title is rather clunky, but this is a genuine question that I have. So far, we've seen 2 major incidents involving big accusations leveled against a big YouTuber, and although people like to compare the Slazo and the Pyro situations, I don't necessarily feel like that's an accurate comparison to make. For one, both dramas happened quite far apart on the timeline. It has been years since the Slazo accusations, and, you know, the Pyro accusations just happened within months ago. Second of all, the circumstances surrounding both situations were completely different. For example, Slazo, at first the community was, for the most part, entirely against him. Outside influences from people like Weast, Hyojin, Kingani, and most notably iMalex among others all helped sway the general favor to one side, but after Slazo released his video debunking the entire situation, the court of public opinion rapidly changed to favor him. In this situation, Ivory did not come out with the best evidence initially. Messages were blanked out, the person he was accusing of being Pyro was a deleted user, and on top of that he had messed up the ID system, which, you know, obviously did not make his claims look very reputable. Alongside that, Pyro has been for the longest time massively respected within the commentary community. He has been there from pretty much the very beginning and has accrued a massive following, and for the most part was really well liked. Another thing that likely cast doubt on the allegation was that Pyro had already come out of a similar situation a while back with an innocent verdict. Think Keemstar and the 14-year-old French girl thing. A lot of things just weren't in Ivory's favor here, and even as he fixed the mistakes present in his initial set of accusations as he went along, a lot of people had already made up their minds by then, and, you know, their opinions weren't changed easily. They weren't entirely convinced until recently, and I did notice that in both situations, public opinion drastically shifted once new information came out. However, it was a bit delayed with the Pyro situation, considering that the pivotal point for the Slazo debacle was his first response, whereas here, it took an outside source to set the record a little straighter. Both situations had pretty extreme reactions, but again, linking the two situations is inaccurate due to how different they were. The only similarities were small things, like how polarizing the reaction was from the community, and how things began to shift later on as new information came out and more sides were shared. I know this is the internet where a good middle ground doesn't exist, but I do hope that in the future, big allegations against huge YouTubers similar to this just don't immediately get thrown out, nor do they immediately rally up a bunch of people behind them. There are some situations like Minilad and Red Kiwis where they just straight up admitted to everything that don't really leave the benefit of the doubt much room, but in general, I think it's fair to wait for both sides to say their piece before going forth with judgment. From the bat, a lot of people were calling Ivory a liar, clout chaser, and all sorts of things, and even if Pyro's response had been like the holy grail of responses and exonerated him of everything, that's still not something you should do. Even if Ivory was completely in the wrong, it does not do you any good to dogpile on him and accuse him of things with little to no evidence. I don't know about everyone else, but for me, Turkey Tom's document provided, along with new evidence, a lot of points of view that I hadn't initially considered. Like how Ivory specifically going after Pyro despite having conversations of the similar nature with other users, because of his platform wasn't necessarily him clout chasing, it was more of him trying to prevent the situation from happening in the future. In my first video, I did say that Pyro's response was pretty good, and that obviously has not aged well considering the information that has come out in recent times. I tried to be as neutral as I possibly could in that video, and for the most part, all I can say in retrospect is that there were a lot more criticisms of Pyro that it could have made. I think it was hard for me and a lot of others to put aside some bias we had for him because, again, a lot of us likely looked up to Pyro as an inspiration because he was there for so long and he made very good content. I personally was a huge fan of him, so it was hard to just kind of drop all that admiration I had for him so quickly and then make a video and make a scathing review of him. I honestly never really expected something to come out about him in the way that it did, no less, and while I didn't bow down to him in the video, I did skim over some points that I should have hit harder on, like how insanely irresponsible it was to A, talk to fans in an inappropriate way, roleplay, even have them gather images for you, and B, not even verify the age of said fans. That is without a doubt incredibly irresponsible at the very best and creepy as hell at the worst, and those two can coexist. It was very irresponsible and it was creepy. I would like to assume that his intentions weren't that of criminality or genuine attraction to minors, but at the end of the day, intentions don't really matter. What's done is done, and it's how you handle the situation that defines how you've changed since everything transpired. It's safe to say that lying and tossing out information to try and deflect is not a great response from Pyrocynical. Now, considering how I ended the last segment, you might think that this is about how Pyro can respond better to allegations, but no, this is how about the community can respond better to stuff like this in the future. This is not like the end-all be-all of allegation response guides, obviously, as circumstances cannot be predicted, but generally what I think would benefit people is to not jump on bandwagons. If they're not good, as we've seen play out numerous times before, whether that bandwagon be for or against the accused. Overall, the situation was just a dumpster fire, from the shaky start of the allegations to the people who issued then deleted statements saying Ivory lied, to the DMs that were leaked between Pyro's girlfriend and him, the amount of people accusing Ivory of clout chasing and being a liar and a scumbag and all that stuff, the fact that there's just so much circumstantial evidence, and the massive fan base Pyro has was just a recipe for disaster. His subreddit is absolutely just shitting itself right now, and I think a good mindset to have if you think you're letting your opinion strongly influence your take on a situation would to be to ask yourself, if a person I didn't know about at all did this, would I react the same way? If the answer is no, you're likely good, but if you answer yes, you should probably imagine how you would respond to the hypothetical situation and then act accordingly. That makes sense? Probably not, but I digress. I remain of the opinion that Pyro absolutely should not have done the things he did, and now that a lot of evidence points to him at least generally knowing how old Ivory was, it simply did not help his case. He dug his own grave at the very beginning when he admitted that the conversations were indeed real, because then that proves that everything Ivory sent to him in the DMs that he showed were completely real and likely seen by Pyro. I don't think Pyro is a groomer, but my opinion of him has been lowered since the whole thing transpired. Honestly, I don't know why it's so difficult for people to just not be weird with kids. So many people have just come out of the woodwork this year being exposed as weird creeps. Like, if you're a public figure and you're an adult, talking inappropriately with anyone who you don't know the age of or anyone who you know to be underage is just so massively stupid because it's so easy to expose you for doing that. No, I'm not saying, only don't do this because you might get caught. Obviously, don't do this in general because it's a fucking gross thing to do. I'm just saying, how do these people think that, they can do this? How do they think they can get away with this? I'm not an adult, I'm still in my mid-teens, but you will never catch me talking to someone that is 3 or more years younger than me in a way that isn't professional or generally not disgusting. Either way, I kind of got off topic there, so let's just end the video. So yeah, that's about it for my brief recap of the Pyrocynical drama and the dumpster fire that ensued. My main pieces of advice are to stay professional with anyone 3 years younger than you or older than you if you're a minor, and to not automatically try and disprove an allegation, nor should you just immediately take it and run and assume guilt. Overall, the situation has given me a massive headache multiple times over, and I'm going to go lie down now. If you want to catch a little more of what I have to say on this, go check out Harley's video on the topic, which again will be out in 2 to 3 days. With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. video. If you liked it, be sure to check out my other content as I do make similar videos to this. And I am working towards 50k by the end of this year. I made a promise that once I hit that number, I will be releasing my entire meme folder to you guys, containing every single transition slide I use in my videos, plus a whole lot more that I don't use due to copyrighted music. Thank you so much for watching. Consider dropping a sub if you want to support me and the channel, or if you want to follow me on Instagram, DeviantArt, or Twitter. I have commissions open there, and I also post my art there. If you want to follow me to see that, or, you know, ask for a commission, be sure to do that, and I'll be out of here. See you in the next one. Bye.